Hello, everyone. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and this is Hardcore Wrestling Radio's Payback Review 2016. And of course, before we get going, I have a special announcement to make. I'm stoned out of my mind, so if I fuck up a lot, well, now you know why. Let me introduce the hardcore crew first. He is the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's up?
Not much. What a great night. Payback really was the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of great matches, a lot of great spots. Of course, we also have Lance Moss from youtube.com/Lance Moss TV. What's going on, Lance?
Nothing much, and at least you're doing better than Enzo right now.
Yeah, you know what? That was one of the biggest stories of the night. Now, Enzo and Cass was supposed to face off the Vaudevillains. The winner would be getting a shot at the titles against New Day. During the match, Enzo takes a really nasty bump. According to reports, right now he just has a concussion. We don't know how much ring time he's going to take out. Now, for those of you who followed me on our chat room and even on this podcast, I really do give Enzo a hard time. I don't like his gimmick. However, the last thing I want to see anybody is get injured. Joe, your thoughts on the injury?
I think it's a very serious injury. If you look at it, his head did bounce. I think the move was meant for him to go between the second and third rope, and they just timed it wrong, and he kind of snapped. Being in the business and looking at injuries that actually happen, that was very legit. I mean, you couldn't practice that. His head hit the second rope, rebound and hit the bottom rope, and the way his eyes glossed over as he fell out, I feared the worst. Good thing it was just right now. WWE is reporting that it's a concussion. He is moving around, at least moving his arms and everything. So at least it's not that serious.
Yeah, absolutely. Lance, this is one of many injuries that's been going on in the WWE. It's been happening since early 2015, and this is just another injury added to that list.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, the thing that actually popped into my mind was he's lucky it didn't end like, the Rey Mysterio incident down in Mexico. Because both guys got hit, kind of took it around the same area. It just Enzo hit his head and didn't get hit in the throat. So he's damn lucky that it's just a concussion.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, when I saw him hit it, looked like he got a really bad whiplash. But
Yeah.
again, they said it's just a concussion, and we wish him a speedy recovery. The next match was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Now, this was probably one of the better matches of the night. They just come out, start pretty much beating the shit out of each other. A lot of great spots. Zayn and Owens has some great chemistry, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the match had its twists and turns, and what I like about Kevin Owens is simply this: he's an old school wrestler. He's not going to go 50 miles per hour. He's not going to go 100 miles per hour nonstop. He's going to hit his moves and he's going to slow it down. He's going to play to the crowd, play to the camera, play to his opponent, and to the same extent, Sami Zayn did the same thing. Very good match. This was a match, Rick, that really wasn't. You didn't need a winner and loser. It didn't affect either one of their standings. It was just one of those damn good matches.
Yeah, and as I said before, great chemistry. They also have that history, which really you could tell that they know each other's moves. And well, as I'm rambling on here, Owen did get the win via pop-up powerbomb, but as Joe said, Lance, the match was so great, there really were no losers in this match.
Yeah, somebody got pinned, but yeah, there were no losers because when that's good. I'm starting to thinking about calling Sami Zayn Mr. Match of the Year because this is a candidate. The thing with him and Nakamura is a candidate. I'm starting to call Sami Zayn Mr. Match of the Year.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, as I had the mute, my mute, and Lance was referring to the year-end awards, which comes on in December. But right now, let's get back to Payback. The Miz and Cesaro would face off for the IC title match. During the match, Zayn comes out and starts beating Owens. So basically, this was more of a bigger story than the actual match. Pretty much at the end of the day, all four guys start fighting. Joe, this seems to be more of a storyline based development than a title match.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised at Extreme Rules. This turns into a fatal four way. Very good chemistry. Cesaro in there just made the Miz look good. Miz plays the good heel. He has his wife Maurice at ringside for the eye candy. Very good match. I like the commentary. I really gotta say the commentary of Kevin Owens, getting in there, and then the fight ensues between him and Sami Zayn made that match even better. So fatal. I look at that as a fatal four way Extreme Rules for the IC title.
And you know what? You're not the only one who said that over on our HWR chat room in the group section on Facebook.com. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing Ryan, Jane, or John. He also asked the same question: do we see a fatal four-way match happening? And I think we're all in agreement. Lance, your thoughts?
Most definitely. Because just the way they set it up, it's all signs point to fatal four way at Extreme Rules.
Yeah. And the next match was the Divas match, and I'm gonna tell you guys, we saw Bret Hart come down to the ring with Natalya, and he just looked in shitty shape. I'm sorry, Joe. You think it's just time for Bret Hart to completely step away from the spotlight altogether?
It's he's a looking like Stu Harte. You know, Bret Hart didn't want to be part of this from the get go. He was on he was on Yahoo, on other social media, kind of bashing the WWE. I guess the WWE felt like, this was not a great idea, but they already made the commitment and they saw it through. Bret looks in horrible shape. He could barely walk. He makes Ric Flair look younger. You know, I think this was one of his ways of just collecting a paycheck and just going home. I knew he was going to get involved in the ring, and he put the sharpshooter on Flair while Natty puts the sharpshooter on Charlotte. Guys like him, he's a bitter guy. Yet, when it comes to the almighty paycheck, he'll take it, regardless of what, even if the master shits, he will take it. I think it's time for him to finally hang up his sharpshooters, put his boots away, and just forget about wrestling entirely.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Now, the fucked up part of the match is considering Bret Hart was there. They did the Montreal Screwjob, or it was the 2016 Montreal Screwjob, where Charlotte had Natalya in the Fatal 8, her submission. No, that's right, too. She did the sharpshooter. See, told you guys I'm stoned. Charlotte had Natty in the sharpshooter, and the ref throws it right out before she taps. Ref takes off, and everybody got pissed off. But Joe, obviously, that was clearly set up, and obviously, Brett. Go ahead.
Let me just throw in this real quick. We don't need to keep seeing the Montreal screw job. We know it happened. It happened. We saw it again later on. And then tonight's another thing happened. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about it. It happened. It's done. Let's move on. This whole little thing is just like I look at it. I think it's kind of an embarrassment just to slap Bret for being those controversial comments he made to the WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they did this, to kind of slap him in the face. Obviously, he must have known about it because that's why they followed up with those double sharpshooters. But, Rick, I'm tired of seeing and worrying about the Montreal screw job. It's the Chicago screw job now. I think what you're going to see at Extreme Rules is Natty get a rematch, and it's probably going to be in the same outcome. Charlotte's walking away, just like she did tonight.
And Lance, Joe did bring up an interesting point about how they seem to be almost like a rib at Bret Hart for the Montreal Screwjob. But over time, there's been the main controversy was that kayfabe or not. Your thoughts?
Whether that was kayfabe or not, well, I've heard, I've seen a lot of shoot interview segments on YouTube about this, and X-Pac saw it, said it best. Brett, how could you not see that coming?
Well, again, so there's always been that major controversy, and obviously tonight it was just that, obviously rib shot. Whether Brett, I'm sure he signed off on it, but you got to wonder if that kind of,
Yeah.
hits a little soft spot, so to speak. Well, let's move on to one of the segments of the night where Vince would come down and say who controls Raw. He calls both down, Stephanie and Shane, and he went to putting them both in charge. Lance, what do you make that? What do you make of this?
Well, instead of doing the brand split, he is definitely making it more interesting because we're going to see them play a game of, well, one-upsmanship or one-ups womanship. Don't want to piss off feminists. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a very good thing for Raw, and, well, keep Big Nose at home.
Joe, I know you're no big fan of Triple H, which was Lance was talking about. But everybody talked about the brand split. Obviously, that's not happening, not at this time, anyways. Shane and Stephanie, what do you see happening? I mean, obviously, we saw a little bit of showmanship up tonight, but do you think more of that's going to be coming?
Oh, absolutely. The slow-petted caveman should not be back anytime soon. What you're going to see is a little bit sabotaging between the two. You're going to see one-upmanship. I still say we're going to see a brand break, and it probably will happen about SummerSlam. They have to tease it a little bit by putting these two together just to kind of get the ball rolling to see if it's going to work. And I think, the whole segment honestly felt like Raw, like it's one long segment. I mean, I took my dog out. He did his crap while the other crap was going on in the middle of the ring. You know, Everybody wants Shane back. That's a big plus. Everybody hates Stephanie. That's a thing. Again, I see them sabotaging each other, going for the one upmanship, and then finally at SummerSlam, you're going to see the brands break.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the main event match, and that is Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles for the world title match. Now, we didn't really expect this. Again, it was all about the showmanship. Styles, first off, is still the major fan favorite. This was a great match. Definitely one of the better matches of the night. First, AJ gets to win via countout, so he retains the title. Shane comes down and says, let's restart the match, no countout. And needless to say, what happens next? Reigns wins with a disqualification. So that's when Stephanie comes down and says, no countout, no disqualification. And I think the obvious happened is when Anderson and Gallows came out. Then you had Usos come out and pretty much back up Reigns. In the end, Joe, Reigns would get the win with a spear. Not something we kind of anticipated, but it was a different ending.
Well, the beautiful thing is we got to see two wins for AJ. AJ won by countout, then won by disqualification. When they dropped the disqualification rule, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, and anybody else who's blind, Ronnie Millsap, probably saw that this was going to happen with the Bullet Club coming down. Obviously, the Usos came down. I gotta say, Rick, I thought the Sami Zayn Owens match was damn good, and the Jericho Ambrose match was good. This match turned out to be really exciting. I mean, these two guys, really went at it. I mean, Reigns showed his skills. He was playing the kind of the frustrated champion, which he should be. You had AJ as the young challenger, and all I can say is excellent match. I say match of the night. Somewhere Dixie Carter's crying under her sheets because she let it all slip out of her hands.
Absolutely. Lance, your thoughts on this match, and what are your other favorites of the night?
My thoughts definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be because, well, I kind of shit on Roman somehow, but that's just me, definitely had makings of a great title match. The twists and turns, great match. I kind of I still got to go with Owens and Zayn for the best, but this is number two. Number three, I got to go with my boy Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. Number four, the Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah, again, the main event definitely was I'd have to say it was the best match of the night. And the other match of the night, I'd like to give it to Zayn and Owens. Great match, again, great chemistry. And again, you got to give props to Y2J and Dean Ambrose. Overall, guys, I have to give this an 8 out of 10 pay-per-view. There were a lot of great matches. Some were predictable, but the quality of the matches was still decent. Joe, your thoughts?
I got to give it an 8.5. I think the matches were really good. Even the women's match was pretty good. Just the two women going at it, not the two women not the old women outside that were fighting. I gotta give that. It would have been a perfect 10 if it wasn't for one, Enzo's injury, which was very scary, and then that whole big Raw segment that we saw. So 8.5. I stick. It's Reigns AJ top match. You had Sami Zayn Owens second match, and I gotta say, my top third would have to be definitely the Miz and Cesaro match.
And Lance, your overall score?
That'd be an 8.5. I do have one question. Do we have the results of the how drunk we think Ric Flair was tonight?
We put in the chat room, and it's pretty much anywhere between drunk and buzzed. So far, he didn't really come across as shit face. So
no, I love you, Hunter.
So no,
I gotta throw this in, Rick, real quick. At least he looked a lot better than he did at the airport.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Oh,
let me say this, folks. Ric Flair, they say he busted open or something like that. I think for all the years he's been wrestling, getting busted open is just automatic now. He probably did his little shuffle, threw the jacket down, blade on command.
He got color in the airport.
Yeah, he got color at the airport. Probably an old lady hit him with a crutch or something. And
probably an old rat.
I remember when you took me to Space Mountain all those years ago.
Oh God! Well, with that, guys, we are gonna wrap it up. If you want to see more of our podcasts of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, check us over at youtube.com/HWR Show. There is that subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. We do tribute shows. We have interviews, and we even shoot interviews from some of the greatest wrestlers. And, of course, if you want to hang out with us, we're in the group sections under Facebook.com and under the name HWR Chat Room. Again, I'm fucking up. Joe?
Are you buzzed?
Just a little bit.
Are you joining the Ric Flair Club?
No, I'd be joining the 420 Club. Anyway, Joe, you're over at DK Retros. You're doing a lot of reviews. I've been working with you with a couple of projects. Tell everybody about it.
Well, really, pretty much what we do is we do retro classic. Is that both the same thing? We reviews regarding old TV shows, old games, old movies. In my personal pick, it was The Last Starfighter. We just did that one. We're now in the Punch-Out series. We're going to do the regular Nintendo version of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's one of a big factors there. And you could find that at facebook.com groups DK Retro. You could follow me on Twitter at JKnightCWA, and also me on Facebook as well as facebook.com Joseph Knight Manager. And again, woo!
Lance, you're over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. Tell everybody about it.
Well, I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, and I've just started a new series on a guitar build I'm doing. And every Wednesday night I go live on Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up. Hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't.
Absolutely, get on over there. So, for the Hardcore Crew, I am your hardcore host, Rick Ed, saying we'll see you when we see you.
And join Ric Flair's club. It's called the AAA Club.